say, we talk about success stories. We've had it on this on our podcast. We get it all the time. Obviously, our friend Johnny. Can I say about this guy? So, hard-working guy. You know what I mean? He's still doing the same hours now than what he was when he was boxing.
Yeah.
Right. So, from starting boxing, 95 at 22 years old. Yeah. Are you sure he was 22 in 92?
I was 22.
I think you're lying.
Not a bit older.
I moved up to Sheffield when I was 20.
Crazy. So
when I was
listen.
22.
So he's fresh to the game at 22. Right. This is success. So he boxed, turned pro in 1999, the 10-year career or whatever. In 2003, from working and going to the gym, he ended up boxing a guy on his own show called Matthew Macklin. Macklin. I can remember this. This is fresh out my head. Matthew Macklin had been a great amateur, having a great assisted professional career, and was unbeaten, boxing in his own. We're back. 13th and final round podcast. My man John Keenan, Donovan Smiley, myself, Ethan Pickering. Special guest in the building, Andrew Facey. Yes, sir.
I'm here.
Alright.
Good.
Mr. Facey.
How are you doing, D?
How you doing, sir?
I'm fine, mate.
We trained together for a long time in Mr. Ingles' gym. And also, you stole my name, Smiley. Why he called himself Smiley? How that name become?
Actually, well, I'm trying to think. It was 1999 when I turned pro. When you turned pro?
10 years at it, yeah?
10 years. Well, me?
Yeah.
When I turned pro 1999 as well. Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Well, I got the surname, Facey.
So you saw me and thought, I got Nicky.
What month did you turn pro? Let's sort this argument out. What month did you turn pro? What month did you turn pro?
I turned pro in July.
Oh, that's
Are you were May, weren't you, Facey? I'm sure you was in May.
I'm glad you were doing your research.
So,
well,
yeah, which gym did you start off the pro career? Was it the Ingles?
Ingles,
What made you go into boxing?
You know, there's a very strange story. I mean, I worked there with my wife, Tina. I'm originally from Wolverhampton. So when I first moved to Sheffield, to no word of a lie, I didn't even know who Errol Graham was. And I was like 20, just coming to 22. And basically, just wanted to keep fit. And basically, the wife just said, you know, I've got a friend of mine, Gary Nelson, does a bit of boxing. Do you fancy, going? For some strange reason, I ended up going to, I think Glenn Rhodes and Errol had fallen out, and I think they'd separated.
Right.
And I think Errol Bomber got a gym on Carlisle Street in Sheffield.
Right.
So, I was there for the first day, and for some strange reason, in fact, for the first week, I didn't get a feel for the gym. Not sure what I was expecting anyway.
Right.
Considering I've never ever boxed in my life.
Right.
The only time I saw boxing was on the usual
TV.
Saturday fight night.
ITV.
When you went out clubbing. So generally, like I said, I just went there for the first year. For the first week, didn't get a feel for it for some strange reason. And I spoke to Glenn, who's mentioned, like, I was at gym at the road, Brendan Ingles, whether you go there. So I went there and met Brendan. And
what year is that, Phase? 94, 95?
That'd be, I'd probably say end of 94, coming up to 95.
Yeah.
Did you used to go on a Saturday morning?
I never went on the Saturday, no.
No.
Through the week, innit?
Yeah, a bit through the week, yeah.
When I joined there, I met you. Is that when you started? When I joined there,
first time I went, I met Brendan and just literally sat, like as usual, sitting there and just talking about, just watching everybody else up and down the lines, and like, I mean, I'm again none the wiser why or what they're doing.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it's basically. I think the first person I sparred with actually was Ryan Rhodes, and I think Ryan's a few years younger than me. I would have been like 22. I think Ryan could have been about 15, if anything. And when I'm thinking like, that's why he can beat me in the ring. But actually, I've never laced a glove in my life. Yeah. So I sparred Ryan. Couldn't like Brendan obviously is like, you can hit him, but you can't. I can hit him, but he can't hit me.
Yeah.
So basically moved around the ring with Ryan, and I could not lace a glove on Ryan, and that just kind of like fell. into my thought process. Like, wow, that's strange and weird.
Do you know Ryan before you even?
No, I knew. Like I said, I knew nobody in Sheffield. The wife's originally from Dronfield, so you know it was only her side of the family I knew. So the group of friends I grew up with eventually in Sheffield was all the gym lads. So the Naz, the Ryan, Isham, Junior, you know, yourself, Donovan. All them lads became my friends in Sheffield.
I always thought you did a bit in Wolves Face.
No.
I never knew that. So you didn't lace him up till he was, till he was 22. 22. See, and then you had a couple of 3, 4, 5, 6 amateur fights.
I had 7 amateur fights, so won 5, lost 2. And I think it was the usual Brendan coming up to me saying, like, seeing the broken nose and the trophy, what about earning a few quid?
Yes.
But you was working hard as well. You worked a full-time job, you know.
I've always been a full-time worker.
What
all the way through his career.
Yeah, I worked for an engineering company. I was CNC programming.
Good. He's still doing that now?
Yeah, still there now to this day.
Management or director, you know?
Production team leader.
Well, still, you stepped up.
Yeah, I was 25 years. You know, but the others, not a lot. You can't tell me that.
Got a pension, I bet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Early pension.
No, but the thing for me with the gym was, you know, I mean, I used to think it was weird when I used to go there, and I'm thinking, like, you know, a 22-year-old, you know, we should be going out clubbing, and these guys like in the gym 5 days a week, thinking like, don't you guys actually go out? But you know, in the thought process, you understand why, you know, to be as good as the next man, you've got to
dedicate yourself
to the gym.
Met some good friends, Face.
I have
Great
made,
gym.
you know what, you know,
Great gym.
You know, it's. Listen to Nelson earlier on. You know, the point is you know, these are friends you make for life. The life-changing experience. I think for me personally, you know, I think for me being up here at such a young age, you know, I'm so independent, and I'm not had to rely on anybody. And you know, people can always talk about Brendan, how much of an impact he's had and on their lives. And I think, you know, as a father figure, because sometimes if that was your dad talking to you, telling you about things, the aspect of being a man and what you should do, you just think it's what I'm looking back. You wouldn't listen to it. No, but the thing for me with the gym was, you know, I mean, I used to think it was weird when I used to go there, and I'm thinking, like, you know, a 22-year-old, you know, we should be going out clubbing, and these guys like in the gym 5 days a week, thinking like, don't you guys actually go out? But you know, in the thought process, you understand why, you know, to be as good as the next man, you've got to dedicate yourself to the gym.
Met some good friends, Face.
I have
Great
made,
gym.
you know what, you know,
Great gym.
You know, it's listen to Nelson earlier on. You know, the point is you know, these are friends you make for life. The life-changing experience. I think for me personally, you know, I think for me being up here at such a young age, you know, I'm so independent. And I'm not had to rely on anybody. And you know, people can always talk about Brendan, how much of an impact he's had on their lives. And I think, you know, as a father figure, because sometimes if that was your dad talking to you, telling you about things, the aspect of being a man and what you should do, you just think it's what I'm looking back. You wouldn't listen to your father talking to you like that.
No.
But Brendan absolutely drilled it into you. Absolutely just drilled it into you.
You know how to get it through.
He had his own way of putting it inside, drill it into you. Because you just stop and just listen to him and look at him. Because it's the way jokes should be.
I think, you know, having been with Brendan for so many years, I mean, well, anybody new coming to the gym, you'd finish off his sentences for him.
Yeah.
You just knew.
You still do it now, right?
You're doing it 1,000 times.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think with Brendan, you know, even when he passed away, I think, you know, I sent Dominic a text saying, like, you know, he's been more of a father figure than my dad. And I didn't mean that in a very disrespectful way.
What do you mean by
in a disrespectful way?
Yeah.
Because I think when I moved away from home, I was 22.
Yeah.
And being with Brendan, and I think being in the gym for that length of time, that you're always in there 5 days a week, and 2 to 3 hours a day, you do spend more time with that person than your own father.
So what you're saying, your own father didn't really spend a lot of time. How was that? How would you compare that?
No, but I
Did you
think
spend time with your dad?
Yeah.
How was your relationship with your father?
My relationship with my dad was absolutely fantastic. You know, I'm the youngest out of 6, and I could do no wrong in my
baby.
in my dad's eyes. But I think for me moving away from home and having Brendan there, don't get me wrong, I could always reach out to my partner. My dad if I wanted a phone call or a chit chat or whatever, but I think by being with Brendan, it was always obviously you hear him having to teach everybody in that gym.
Yeah.
You take that on board. You take what don't do this, don't do that, or that. It's that fun. And you see people actually. We used to go out clubbing in Sheffield, and people used to Brendan. By the time we came back in the gym on a Monday, Brendan knew where you were. You know what I mean? I mean, Dominic was a father figure in the gym. Make sure you're in the gym training, and I think even if you were out and about and you knew you got to be at that gym, you get a phone call, you get your phone, but Dom's ringing, you had to be in the gym. So I think it's a business for them, but they're also making sure that you're on the right path.
Three times.
Did your dad like boxing?
No, they're really weird. I think he did, but I never actually sat down really and go through that boxing process of going back to.
Did you come from a Caribbean background? What Caribbean where the background did you come from?
Yeah, big Caribbean. Yeah,
Jamaican or
Jamaican.
So that I understand that background now.
Yeah,
they're not interested.
Listen,
in
the only sports that I can recall my dad seeing getting enthralled in was the wrestling. When part of the furniture moved from home to over there. Because
the English one, Big Daddy.
Yeah,
WWF.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Jeff Cage.
Giant A-Stags.
Yeah, generally, I think,
John Rocco on the group, his dad was involved.
John
Rocco, wrestler.
Well, what you used to see back then, where, back then in our days, you only had 3 or 4 sports channels anyway, but wrestling, like I said, people used to get engrossed into watching that, and, I think half the time, as such a youngster as well, you think part of the family was actually in the ring because our part was jumping up and down like that.
The only reason I asked that question is because that was yours and Brendan's connection, wasn't it? Whereas you didn't have that connection with boxing with your dad as much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That's where you guys were on the same page.
Yeah, I think with Brendan, I think if a believer and a fantastic trainer, but for me personally, to understand the game, boxing, some of these guys are very tricky. You get in there and you're trying to lace a glove on them, and you can't catch them.
Yeah.
So for a while, you're like a punch bag.
Yeah.
So you have to adapt, and you have to then go on thinking like, why is it that I can't take them? So you start realising that, hold on a second, they're taking a step back.
Yeah.
So you're out of range. You're thinking like, okay, I'll try that myself. So before you know it, you become more tricky than what they're then realising, hold on a second, I used to already able to hit it all of a sudden now. Yeah. So the skills does rub off.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think in that back in the gym days, we had British, Commonwealth, European, World Champions in that gym. Yeah. And the gym was buzzing.
What time did you come in? I do know you recognise your face because I was there at the same time as you, but what time did you used to come in the gym?
Right, so I got a very strange sign to everybody else because from where I live anyway.
Was it back on late?
It's 10-11 miles from Sheffield to my house.
Yeah.
So what I normally do is I used to finish work at 2 o'clock.
Right.
So what used to happen is Dominic used to turn around and say, look, instead of going back home and going back, he goes, well, give me 15 minutes and I'll come across.
Yeah.
You've got your wraps on and we'll do some pads.
Yeah.
So we do pad works before everybody else came in. And by the time yourselves came in, at 3 o'clock, I'll do the spar with you guys, a quick hour spar, hour and a half, and then I'm out of there. So I was normally gone by about no later than 4:30.
Yeah, because I used to go at 3 o'clock, so that's why I think I recognise your face.
Yeah. So I got more of a personal tuition than most guys.
Lucky you.
Can I say? We talk about success stories. We've had it on on our podcast. We get it all the time. Obviously, our friend Johnny. Can I say about this guy? So hard-working guy. You know what I mean? He's still doing the same hours now than what he was when he was boxing.
Yeah.
Right. So from starting boxing 95 at 22 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you sure he was 22 and
I was
95?
22.
I think you're
Sure,
lying.
you're not a bit older.
You're
than
lying.
that.
I moved up to Sheffield when I was
Yeah,
when I was
crazy.
when I
So
when I was
listen.
22.
So he's fresh to the game at 22, right?
Mm.
This is success. So he boxed, turned pro in 1999, with a 10-year career all well and good.
Yeah.
In 2003, from working and going to the gym, he ended up boxing a guy on his own show called Matthew Macklin. Macklin,
Yeah,
Matthew
yeah.
Macklin. I
Yeah,
can remember
yeah.
this. This
Yeah.
is fresh out my head. Matthew Macklin had been a great amateur, having a great assisted professional career,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
was unbeaten. Boxing in his hometown, this guy was up against it. He had to not only beat him to win, he had to destroy him, and that's exactly what he did.
I mean,
Destroyed the guy in his hometown on Sky TV.
you know the thing.
With the
Unbelievable.
famous punch, a little short punch.
I think with Macklin. I mean, I didn't get much exposure with Macklin, and I used to get a phone call from my mum in Wolverhampton saying, like, on the Central News that, you know, what was happening was Barry McGuigan was going to his gym like on a Friday basis, and they were doing an interview every time we did a session. You know, it's like, how come he's down here getting exposure? You're not getting nothing down here, and so forth. And so don't worry about it. But yeah, Matthew Macklin, you know, can recall the big fighters. You know, they had like kind of half of Oscar De La Hoya's face and half of his.
Yeah.
You know, just for obviously what he'd achieved in his amateur career and so forth.
Yeah.
But for me, I think it was about knowing myself. You know, but I mean, I'm not sure how many amateur fights he actually had. But for me, it was all about, you know, knowing myself personally. And if anybody knows me, I'm always a grafter. I think throughout my career, I think I only went to Amphi once, training camp. I know you guys was religiously out there all the time. But I was always even
Working.
I was always working. So you know, yes, potentially I could probably look at it and say I was a part-time fighter. Trainer.
So boxing was your first love, but you wasn't committed due to you can't bank on boxing.
No.
You know what I mean? It was tough.
I had my first. I think I recall when I first boxed Jamie Moore, and I think was it Colin Hart, editor. He rang me in a hotel and like, so what do you think it feels like? You know, you're boxing for Jamie, for your title, and I says, it don't feel surreal to me because I've not had that schoolboy dream.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, what some of you got, you know, if you start off at 15, 16, I've never had that.
Yeah.
You know, so for me being in Belfast, boxing him, it was kind of weird, especially having just beaten Macklin.
Yeah.
I think 16 days prior to that.
Yeah.
So for me to be boxing, beating Matthew Macklin, and then within 16 days boxing Jamie Moore, and not knowing myself personally as well, because I think when I first boxed for the English title with Macklin, that was the first time I made 11 stone.
Wow.
Remember, I know you were dieting for that.
11 stone, considering I was 30 year old, so not understanding my body personally.
Yeah.
Because you know, if I look back now, I think to myself, I know what, I reckon I could have made welterweight. And people think, seriously, because
you're tall as well.
I could have made welterweight because you know when you look at what guys have now, today I was 12 weeks training camp. I had 3-4 weeks notice for fights.
I remember when you were dieting, when I was dieting as well,
Yeah.
and you were saying, I'm this weight, and I'm thinking, how do you get down there?
Unbelievable.
I'm sure you box a lot heavy.
I've boxed 2 cruiserweights.
Yeah, cruiserweight, and then it come down to like middle of the. Why do you do that?
There's a guy from Stoke, I can't recall his name, and I boxed Michael Pinnock.
Michael Pinnock.
Michael Pinnock. And you know, the story with that was even weird because I think I went to a show in Derby, and I think just to fill an exhibition gap, me and Junior Witter had to do an exhibition.
Yeah.
And basically, I think what happened where the doctor wanted to do just like a blood pressure check on me, and like Dominic's like saying, he's just doing an exhibition. It's nothing important. So he did a blood pressure and says, "You're feeling all right?" Because your blood pressure's kind of high. So anyway, so we did the exhibition, but I had to notify the board within 3 months of why I've got such a high blood pressure. So I had the ECG, the scan, and everything. Definitely. So I got the clearance. Went to a show in Chesterfield. So on the Friday I got the clearance. On the Saturday I went to the show. And then John Ingle then says to me on the Saturday, "Do you fancy boxing Michael Pinnock on the Sunday?" So I'd not even trained for
Have you gone with
3 months. Win one.
Easy work,
But
it
it was easy work, but you know what, like I said, you know, when you've not trained for like 3 months plus, and you're boxing more or less, you know, Kate is a journeyman, but you know, it's still it's still a cruiserweight.
Yeah.
So I've boxed cruiserweight, light heavy, super middle, down to light middle.
Also, you boxed the guy I beaten him, Dan Rhodes. Tell me about it. How did it go?
Darren Rhodes.
Rhodes.
I think, to be honest, again, I think what happened with Darren Rhodes, I think I had 4 or 5 bouts on the trot I'd won, and I think, not knowing myself personally, you know, I think nowadays now I do things a lot different by having your body rest before you go back into a fight. So I had 4 kids on the bounce, and then I think Dan Rhodes was with Frank Moore at the time. Yeah, he was. Basically, they kind of threw me in there with him just to give me a test and hold a second. This guy's.
Face, let's just get things straight here.
So with Dan Rhodes, the thing with Dan Rhodes, it was a 4-rounder. I lost by 1 point to Dan Rhodes, and then I thought to myself, having lost to him, you know, if I'd have trained properly, I would have beaten him.
And what I'm saying is, get things straight. I'm not cutting you off, but what I'm saying is, this guy was always in the opponent's corner. You understand me? Please understand that, because people don't get it. This guy was thrown in.
So
you weren't meant to
you're
win.
not only against it, you're against it.
Any promoter or would be looking at their opponents and looking at my record and thinking, look, he's done nothing as amateur. It's not background. He's got no background. So basically, you know, you go in. If you don't train for me, you know, you're in for a hard time. And I think we're going back to Darren Rhodes. You were there, and he was coming up for the Central Area title, and I think he's supposed to box Jason Collins, and I think Jason Collins got a cut. So my name got thrown in, and he's obviously beaten me 2 years prior to that. So he obviously thought, you know, complacency, I could probably do it again. You know, and we went to Wakefield. And I beat him, stopped him in the 6th, 7th round. Wow! And but again, we were hostile because you were in an area where literally, you know, his mum was
scary, wasn't it?
Yeah, his mum had to literally, you know, I think Johnny had to just turn around the microphone and say, look, you know, we're going to offer a rematch and so forth. But yeah, we got back to the change rooms, and again, we like saying, look, just pack your bags, just get yourself off, because it's quite hostile, which you were. And we're only talking probably. It couldn't have been no more. It probably could have been the year 2001, 2002, but there were Nazi flagging it and everything there whilst we were there. So
I had it cut out, you know what I mean? Like, whatever level to do what he did, you know what I mean? It's a tough job.
Like I said, it was all. I'd say for my career, mainly all my fights was always a 3-4 week training. I was always in the gym training.
So you're alright.
You know. Not like a full-time level. I mean, I'll take my hat off to the guys who did it full-time, like yourselves, and D, because, you know, I always went back to work, so I always had something to focus on to. Whereas I look at you guys and thinking, like, how bored must you guys get? Because you go to the gym for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, then you're back into the bed sit, and you sat there for like
every morning, every night as well.
It's never a perfect world, though, is it? I mean, I look at your situation, and you know what I mean, that was so hard. You know what I mean? So, listen. Whatever way you do in life, whatever way, whatever position you're in, it's never easy. The strongest survive.
I didn't turn up to make the numbers up. Simple as that.
That's it.
You know, it was always a fact is that, you know, especially in the game of boxing, you know, I don't think people realise that, you know, legally you can get killed in there. So it's a matter of life or death. You know, but it's also being a little bit disciplined, knowing what you're capable of doing. But I just always knew that from, like I said, from full-time working and going to the gym, that I always had that mentality that I'll always graft and always put the work in.
And this guy's discipline, dedication, like, I couldn't believe it. This guy walked around at 13 stone. Listen, he made 10 stone. I looked at him, I thought, it didn't look any different.
Did he chop a leg off?
Make the weight, whatever weight you could have said, whatever weight you like, my man here.
So how did he do it? Tell the people.
I think, like I said earlier on, I think personally, if I knew myself that little bit more, like, because we're 27 when I turned pro.
You
know, so like I said, you know, the history of listening to everybody who's the life story of boxing, that's probably followed it from a young age. I didn't have that experience. So it was all about me learning it myself and learning through what these
Yeah.
guys do.
Yeah.
But like I said, if I had to love to have done something, I would have probably loved to took it another level and gone to welterweight.
What was your diet? What was your diet? Okay, tell us the secret. Yeah, what was your diet like? Was it?
Did it itself, you
But
know.
you know what,
How do you do it? There's the right way and the wrong way.
Do you know
the wrong way because it's a dietitian here?
Did you know
I
about
think Dom learned
nutrition?
off him. Honestly, I don't know how he did it.
No, I mean, these guys used to pay them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I didn't. But nutrition, do you
listen.
know about it though?
No, I didn't.
No,
because
so what did you do?
You know what? I'd probably say more than half would take credit for a lot of this.
Go on.
Because to be honest, I mean, like, the thing for me is I always went to work, and within 4 hours I'd have porridge in the morning,
Yeah.
and
Right.
then I'd probably have a snack at lunch, but not much, probably just a fruit snack. And then that's me. I'm kept until going to the gym, and I'd have a full meal by 5:30, which is like basically
Like what?
your usual salads, jacket potatoes, fish and chicken. That's it.
I think
But
we've got a bit of a genetic freak here. We've got a genetic freak.
No, but what I used to do is after I've had that after 6 o'clock,
Yeah.
and then go for a run at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
To
But
burn it off.
But the other thing I did, I never used to run.
Yeah.
So when most people are training, they talk about training. I only used to run when I had a fight. That's the only time I ever run. Running used to
I
bore
can
me.
understand that.
Is it the diet? What do you say? This is a dietitian here,
Yeah.
so
No,
just tell him.
I'm
what
not a
you call-
dietitian,
Well,
I'm
no,
a
I mean,
nutritionist, but
nutritionist.
I would say you was genetically gifted for
yeah.
sure.
Honestly,
Yeah.
like, I would never. If I did have a fight coming up, I don't run.
Yeah.
I only used to run when I got a fight that way.
Yeah.
But I tell you, it was like really funny because when I boxed Macklin, I was doing shifts at this point, and I was finishing quite late in the morning. And I used to like run from my house to about 4 miles, and I used to like curse myself, think I can't believe it's making me run like this. But that was that mental thing, like
Yeah.
I was saying, like you've got to focus on yourself personally.
Yeah.
I mean, like that means something in your heroes, a background cell. It was knowing yourself. So for
Yeah.
me, it was just that mental thing that I just knew I was doing it for me.
That's good.
When you were doing it though, did you have like every time, let's say for instance, every time Ishan had to make weight, he struggled with sweets.
Well, when we're talking about dieting, so the kids had to suffer as well. So what the wife didn't do, she used to put she didn't put any sweets in the cupboard.
Yeah.
Because that was always a temptation.
Yeah.
For me, but I mean, it's like I said, when I talk about knowing yourself, I mean, it's crazy because again, it was that knowing yourself, and I think I got offered a fight to box Gilbert Eastman.
Yeah.
And that really, she was just, I was probably just touching 13 stone, or 10, 13 when they offered me the fight.
Wow.
And I got 2 weeks to make just below 11.5 stone.
Right.
And I got 26 pounds in 2 weeks.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
Again, the same mentality,
Same
training,
meal prep and everything, the porridge,
the porridge,
the one meal.
No
fruit.
stress, just
Yeah.
cool, calm, and
Job.
collected.
Yeah.
I'm
I
telling
guess
you.
you got the sweat
And it was,
on at the end.
honestly, it was really weird because I mean, like, for years, I mean, I used to run a football team as well, and you know, the strange thing I did when I stopped him in the 3rd round, I did a roly-poly, and honestly, he honestly,
remember it. What was the guy doing a roly-poly for on the floor? A roly-poly, you know, in the middle of the ring.
I wasn't affected to do all the flips in the ring and stuff like that yet. So yeah, I did just the roly-poly, but yeah, and I think for me that was it. It was always that another learning curve for me. You know, I made that 11-3
Yeah.
for Gilbert, and then that's when you offered me the Matthew.
How did you feel with that 11-3 coming down from that? Did you feel okay? Like, did you feel?
I've always felt fine. I think you know, when I've always gone back, when the following, within 24 hours anyway, I'm probably I've easily put a stone back on.
Yeah,
You know, but I'm like a lean, a lean grey out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think the name suits Facey, the smiley Facey, because I never saw my man stressed out. You know, I mean, never,
Yeah, I was smiling.
never with the world on his shoulders.
Well, it's weird because
chilled, always smiling.
When it's like Dom said, when you said earlier on, Dominic, about me taking the smiley name, I think I was boxing in the hall.
No, what is my real name?
Yeah, but this is where I'm going to get to where Smiley came from.
Yeah,
I was boxing in the hall, and I think the ring announcer just wanted to give me a name. So what can we call you?
Smiler.
At that point, I think I had 3 knockouts at that point.
Yeah.
So I think Dominic or John was like saying, "I'll call him Hitman Face, Hitman Smiley, Hitman Facey." And then I think with Dominic turned around, I was always smiling for calling Smiley Face.
Yeah.
Because it used to be real weird because when you used to turn up at fights, you used to get your opponent looking at you with that aggressive look. I used to smile because you know I think like what
Natural though, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah, it's a job. It's a job. Yeah.
I'm not sure that angry face is going to
You're being
Make
yourself.
it more scary that I'm running around and scared from me. But yeah, it was really,
Yeah, have you ever gone into a fight and feel like aggression and don't smile? Come in a different mindset.
no, you know what?
Be in a fight like that.
It's really weird that 27 fights, and I haven't had the animosity where the ring rivals,
collective.
where people are really slagging each other off. I've never had that. You know what I mean? Because I wonder what that'd be like to really, if somebody had to say something
Touch
nasty
your
or
button.
get under your skin.
Have you ever? So you never fought nobody you don't like?
No.
So you
really,
like everybody you shake
honestly,
hands with?
really weird. I've never had that.
Wow.
So I just turn up and you see what you get. That's it.
What was your significant punch?
Everybody used to call everybody
that man.
Remember that shot?
With the handbag shot.
The handbag shot. Boom.
It's really strange
Yeah,
because
Junior about that.
I've connected with the guy about late last year.
Knocked somebody out cold.
Lois Wales, who was an ABA champion.
Yeah.
I think I boxed
Another
him
guy tipped up.
I
Another
think
guy.
Harry Simon's show, I think you were.
Yeah.
And it was really weird because we kind of
Who did he box that day?
Libya.
Manchester job.
No, I don't think he was.
Won it in Manchester, wasn't it?
I can't think where he went, but he went Manchester. But we got on the show, and I think we just got into a clinch, and the referee just split us up, and I think we kind of got together. I just kind of threw. The lads in gym called a handbag shot, and it just dropped. I can remember Nelson go back into the gym changing rooms, like saying, "What? You not that? Get out! You can still in the ring." I can remember seeing Fat Warren and Maloney's face was just like looking at me, thinking like.
But did he touch him?
Prospect just got knocked out.
Wow.
And I don't think I think he may have boxed once after that and then retired. So he never boxed again.
Amazing.
Wow.
Amazing.
So how many upsets have you caused?
Loads.
In the ring?
Come on, man, he's
All your
forgot.
fights been upsets.
You must forget.
I mean, after who lost to down roads, a boxer guy called Matthew Tate.
Matthew Tate.
Yeah, he were like 11, 12 and 0.
He got bored of beating guys in the back there.
Honestly, I had this thing about thinking to myself that, if I've lost now, so what's the point of having to think about whether to train properly for a fight? And so when he offered me the fight with Matthew Tate, I took it and I beat him. So I was down in his backyard in Chigwell, and again, obviously, the underdog, but yet in his own backyard, beat him on points. And that was it again. I got my mojo back on again. But like I said, everything was all about knowing myself. If you talk about fights like again, I think before the end of career, Thomas McDonough.
Yes.
Thomas
He was a good one, and you beat him as well.
Yeah, but again, I don't think I boxed for like just over a year, and I think he got an outing. He got an outing 5 weeks before our bout. But I took it as a win because I got a draw. I got a draw in Manchester, which is
You beat him.
his backyard. So that's what I was
Rugby.
saying. I get my title, and that was it. And I was probably 36, 37 at the time.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. And I think again, if you look back, you could probably look at Gary Walker.
Yeah,
Walker,
another one.
yeah.
Honestly, endless, isn't it?
I think he
I
could have been 20,
all unbeaten.
22 and 0. I think I stopped him in the fifth round.
22 and 0, mate.
But I think he again thought at 35 that was probably
Washed up in the
and so forth. But not many people know this because the English title it was always kept in the wardrobe of my daughter's bedroom.
Right.
So we never on display anything like that. It was always in the wardrobe. And then when I finished in 2009, which I never announced I was retiring, I just literally, I think the board wanted me to renew my license, and I thought, what's the point? I've had two defences in 6 years.
Let's be honest, Face. I mean, boxing was a hobby to you. Let's get it right. It was a hobby. You know what I mean? You had a great time.
Yes.
Met some great friends. You
Like
didn't take it too seriously, which is a good little bit of advice, really. It's tough getting in that ring. Don't be too serious. You know what I mean? Got to try and do it. It's tough though, but
enjoy it as well.
But this
You
guy,
can put stress on yourself.
You enjoyed
You
it.
can put a lot of stress on yourself.
Great career.
I think people don't realise that. I mean, mentally, when you're making weight,
That takes a lot.
the smallest of things.
can make the big things.
Just, I
can't
mean,
they?
they mean nothing. I mean, just like I said, it's like just having a chocolate or a sweet.
Yeah.
How can that make you feel like,
Can I tell you?
I think it's a mental thing, and I think
breaks you down.
Can I tell you something?
people only turn up nowadays now for a night out.
Yeah.
on boxing. They don't see the graph that you
They
do.
don't.
Yeah.
Can I tell you something? You was my inspiration, you know.
Oh, cheers, Dom.
No, because when I was dying for my title fight and stuff, you were making it easy, and I'm thinking, how do you do that? and you explained to me what you did, and you know what I mean. And I took that on, and you helped. So thank you.
Maybe genetics.
Respect to that.
Johnny,
You need to listen to him now then.
You have to line me up.
You need to listen to him now.
You can't help him now.
I'm sure he was eating before
What
he
went
came to the
wrong?
gym.
He rolls up my house with sweets, and he says he's bringing them for me, and he's
moaning all the way,
Listen,
moaning all the way
You
here.
can't say he
But
comes to the house and eat out his food, you know what I mean? So big
so
something,
you know what he does?
big a bag.
He brings his sweets, and then he goes, "They're for you, but don't touch these ones."
No,
He's
but
moaning.
I always bring something for the wife though, you know what I mean? Because
John, is he moaning all the way here about food?
Listen, basically, I had breakfast, you know, but I'm here, I'm dedicated. I had breakfast.
I think I'm
He'll make up for it.
I think
you know.
I think
Wait
you
until we
watch.
go for food
I made
after this.
I made a lot more weight because I think I was always fasting all the time.
Yeah, the fasting.
Fasting.
And I think the fasting worked
Yeah,
for me.
well, I'm fasting right now.
Are you Christian?
So your family.
His family.
Is it family?
If
family.
you're a Christian, you're
Yeah.
fasted, it's
Yeah.
easier, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah,
He
yeah. Because
don't-
you're doing
he
it for
don't
reason.
practice.
But I can literally, if I'm focused on doing something all the time,
Well, I'm
food
focused for me.
that come into my head,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I can literally be working 8, 9, 10 hours and not
Yeah.
thinking about something to eat.
Yeah.
I
That's
just
good,
concentrate
that's
on doing that.
So that's what I'm saying, Face. Like it was a hobby to you. You know, you was good at it.
I used to
You-
have,
you-
I used to have you guys around my house.
Yeah, I mean, we had some great times. You know,
Mm.
me, you, Witter,
Simeon.
around yours, Simeon. Some
See?
great memories. You know what I mean? And
You guys, listen, you guys are friends for life. You know
Yeah,
what I
man.
mean?
We're more than friends
you
now.
know.
It's like family, innit?
You went
Yeah,
through
yeah,
the
yeah.
history,
Yeah,
the things
yeah,
you've been
yeah.
through together, right?
And things you've been through together.
Like Johnny's my
you know,
uncle.
It's
Uncle Johnny.
you're older than Johnny, man.
Look, you
You're
got
older than
glasses on.
Johnny.
Uncle Johnny.
Uncle Johnny, man.
I thought you was older than Johnny.
No, come on, man. Oh,
What does everything else? What's the future for your Face? I mean, are you still involved in this boxing? Do you follow it? Are you
I follow it.
interested or what?
I follow it. I'd probably say I probably dropped off a few percentage of following it, watching all the fights.
Yeah.
I just tune into the one.
Selective.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
selective.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I do sometimes wish, you know, because just to give back. I think you always feel like you ought to contribute or give something
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
You have a little bit of training a few guys,
It's
or
free, it's free advice, and you know, it's not like you're hiding anything from anybody. I think if you're going to train someone, you just there's always levels. Simple
do
as
you
that.
fancy doing that though? Training, get a license.
he's done a bit, haven't you? Done a bit.
I did it with a couple with a guy,
white collar guy,
no,
for amateurs?
for pro.
Oh, for pro.
Yeah, for
So
pro.
why do you go get your license and get into?
Do you enjoy training people?
I think you know what I mean.
Even your seconds license just getting
I
involved.
think if we were to go back to Brendan again,
Yeah.
I think the sacrifices his kids must have missed out on his parents on Brendan because you know the times Brendan would have to spend with every single fight in that gym. Those kids must have suffered. Those kids probably never went on holiday with their dad. You know what I mean? Not like today, but so if you're going to be training kids today,
It's a mission, right?
It's
a mission.
tougher now, man.
hard work.
Yeah.
It's
a
tougher,
mission.
even tougher now. Like I say, you got to take your hat off to Brendan
Yeah.
because 6 world champions come out of that gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, how many British Commonwealth European champions?
Got quite a few.
There's a
And
lot.
there's
There's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of achievements.
time from there as well.
She wants
And
to
there's a lot-
She
there's a
wants
lot
to-
of-
She wants to 300-400 a year. So
Yeah.
I don't know how I could squeeze in train anybody else if I'm going to be away on holiday.
Sounds like my way.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a permanent holiday.
Oh, don't leave.
I
us,
can
man,
say
don't leave us.
though, on my behalf, I've had a gym 10 years now, and nothing more frustrating and harder. It's harder than doing it yourself because you've only got yourself to rely on.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to make you do something or inspire or intrigue or educate you,
Yeah.
it's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's a-
And it's
Wow.
harder now with this day and age
Yeah.
because of all this social media going off.
You're
They know
difficult.
more than you.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
know more than you. It's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's hard.
At the end of the day, it's like a crash, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
dad's turn up and mother's turn up with the kids, and it's like they palm you off with the kids, and you've got to discipline that child, you know, or coach them or give them a direction, you know. But you can't. You're not just doing it to one. You're doing it to how many kids you've got in that gym, and you're repetitively saying that weeks,
Yeah.
days, months, you name
Yeah.
it.
I'm
all the
still
time.
trying to think of a way because Brendan's a master, yeah? I'm still trying to think of a way how Brendan would have conquered this day and age because he would have. If when I got to Sheffield 96, Brendan was on his peak. So his peak times with Nazim Ahmed,
Yeah.
Johnny and Ryan coming through,
Yeah.
Pelly coming through,
Yeah.
you know, all the rest of
I
them.
think
But
ban social media.
He would have.
Yeah,
He would have
social
conquered
media
it.
went around,
He would have
right?
conquered it.
Yeah.
He'd have conquered that
Do you know
social
what?
media.
Do you know what? When I look back at what Brendan was doing, right? I think when we're younger, we're always trying to chase the destination. I want to be at my destination. I want this. I want that. I want this. And what he was trying to get us to do is understand the journey.
Yeah.
And take it in our stride and slow it down and think and take it all in and journey through. Like with social media now, it gives the people opportunity to go online and be someone they're not. Because what you put online is what you want people to see, right?
You understand it though, John. You know, you're an online coach.
Yeah.
So what is the difference? Can you explain to us why you've got to have an essence and how does it come across? How do you do that?
You basically you can manufacture what you want people to see. You can manufacture how you want people to perceive things, depending if you're like me, an online coach, transformation coach, whatever you're selling online. You can tell people what you want to hear, can't you? But no one can see what you're really going through at home.
No,
you could be lonely, you could be depressed, you could go online,
so
show a nice physique, but really you're struggling, right?
You're struggling.
And that's why Brendan was good, because Brendan would see all that. Brendan would see past all that.
Yeah.
People on social media, people only put on what they want it.
Yeah.
They only show the good times, don't they?
They always do.
But that's only a matter of, like I said, it could be a day or it could be a week thing.
Yeah.
But it's when you come home, you don't post anything else of what on your daily activities, do you?
It's a dangerous thing, social media.
Yeah.
It can depress somebody.
I get trolled every day, honestly.
It can be social.
You see some of the comments I get are tremendous.
And that's it's bullying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Cyberbullying. It's not good. It could ruin people's brains.
As I said, you go through eras in boxing and life.
Yeah.
They always say the certain eras was better, but would they have dealt with this day and age? Would they have dealt with the distractions? Maybe not. Maybe there'd have been a worse fire. Maybe they wouldn't have been able to deal with this. Because it's one big distraction.
It is.
It's one big distraction.
It's put there for a reason.
I think today, if you coach anybody, I think they want that success straight away.
Straight away.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, everything's instant now.
No patience.
And people know what you're doing. You can ring people.
People are always watching.
Yeah,
people
can't
always
do anything
watching.
now. You can't get away with nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got to be sharper than ever in this day and age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
But like I say, with Facey's career, like I say, we've got to commend him because, he did it a different way, man. And he beat always in the away corner, like our old friend Johnny Nelson. And he conquered.
You can't change. I mean, people always say in hindsight we change things, but it's just always too easy to say hindsight, isn't it? It's all about life, your life lessons you learn along your way. I mean, as soon as I gave the English title up, I think it was Lee Noble and Liam Smith. The following week boxed for it.
Right.
So I kind of kept obviously Liam Smith away from me. Smith away from me for all that period. And since I vacated, boxing is one last from my gym.
Wow.
Yeah. How does that make you feel when you see that and you think, well, and I just learned to take it on the chin.
Yeah.
There's not many people I don't get on with, but I think a lot of people would have been raring and arguing with people and falling out with people about how did that come that way. I think because I think probably maybe the fact it's not marketable, maybe because I'm at an older age.
Yeah.
And it's promoted may see. I mean, I think nowadays our promoters see fighters is that is a matter of numbers, how many bummers you can put on seats.
Well, you got as we get older, we'll understand this anyway. But when we're boxing, we think it's everything. We say things like, "Oh, I'll die in the ring." When you get a wife, get kids, and we look back and we're thinking, "Why did I ever say it like that?" Your commitments change, right? Yeah. But boxing, we've got to remember, is like you can take a merchandise and market it and brand it and invest in it and push it forward. And unfortunately, with boxing, that's what fighting is. Certain fighters are branded, marketed, looked after because the people looking after them, they're getting paid as well as the fighters. It's not all of it. Sometimes I look at, if I play devil's advocate, if the promoters sometimes can't help everyone, so they choose who they think, who they know because they've got a relationship with and they look after them. But there needs to be more of that spread out, I think, so there's more opportunities created for other people because there's a lot of fighters out there, what if they would have been given the same opportunities and the same nurture, they would have had their opportunity as well. But I suppose that when it's all said and done and boxing's over, it happened for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, how do you guys see boxing's going?
It's not the same anymore.
It's not the same anymore. I can record it being now.
I think boxing's in a great place, D. What
You
you
think
say
so?
that for? It's in an amazing place, man. Like I said,
The money side, you mean?
eh?
And getting
Do
looked
you
after.
think there's more opportunities for fighters now than there has been before?
Oh yeah, the more
Yeah, there's more opportunities.
There's more TV channels,
They're
right?
doing a great job, man. They're
There's
doing
the
a great
Zone,
job.
Sky.
I'm looking at guys now who are boxing for European titles,
And we have to wait.
and it's like handing on a plate to them. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
like, how
Yeah.
is that handing on a plate to them today? You know what I mean? And you know, it's and the hand picking them now. You'd have to probably be in top 5 to even get, you know, in the world. To
It's
even
a
get
bit
a
of
crack.
16
It's
fights.
a
in
business
each time.
place, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We know it's a business, and
It's
it's
always
become more
been. If you ever
business.
think about it, it's always been there, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's always been there. You
And
know
it'll
what I
always
mean?
be like that.
But no, I just look at it today and I think, you know, it's handing a plate to them because I know certain fighters would have given their left, right arm or whatever
Yeah.
for a European belt or
Yeah.
a British title. But nowadays it's handed. I mean, but if I look back at my career,
Yeah.
I recall beating Macklin, Gary Walker,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden he ends up boxing Marcus Pullman. So I beat Gary Walker, and his next fight he gets a crack at British title at Marcus Pullman, who was nowhere near in the top 20 in the division, and ends up winning it.
Yeah.
Which is not, how does that work? I've just beat a guy who's
Yeah.
2 in a row, and all of a sudden now he gets a crack at a British title.
How does that make you feel? How do you deal with that?
It's the politics in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think even when I handed the bell back at you know, because I never announced the retirement, I just handed the bell back in.
Yeah.
But I just think to myself, it's politics. It's
Business
literally politics.
politics.
Because you know, I mean, after Gary Walker won the British, I think he then boxes Ryan Rose. I think Ryan stopped him in the 11th round.
Yeah.
But again, it's that opportunity. I think, and like, you know, surely there's I don't know how I think maybe promoters have a certain way with certain people at the board who obviously can wrangle things through.
Yeah.
You know, but
They've invested money in them and stuff, you know what I mean?
So
it'll always be political, like football, like, you know.
Like your workplace, it's all the
Yeah.
same, isn't
yeah,
it?
it's of course it's all but
Yeah.
you don't think
It's
it's
got
anything
picture.
else. You know,
Yeah.
if you're going to change anything, it's you can you have to
You
change
got to
it.
get next to the people.
You've got to change it, or
Yeah.
you do something else.
That's why I'm not angry with people like Shannon Biggs or Jake Paul, because like they've got their mindset that I'm not gonna rely on another man. I'm gonna promote myself. I'm gonna manage myself.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be loud enough to get my name out there myself. I'm
That's
gonna create my own opportunities. You know, if you're in business, that's just what you have to do anyway. You have to be loud. You have to be different.
Listen, I would have loved, and I think I asked on many occasions. I asked on many occasions to box in my own backyard.
Yeah.
Because any fighter would love to box in their
Yeah.
own
Yeah.
backyard.
Yeah.
You know, I think you may put a lot of pressure on yourself to perform
Yeah,
and win.
Yeah,
right?
it's
both ways, isn't it?
But you know what? It'd been just
Works-
nice so that people.
both
It's
ways.
always about giving back into it at the end of the day, you know,
Mm.
because favorite people could sometimes can't always be there, reach out and attend or but I think if it's on your doorstep, I think you know it's always going to be somebody's life ambition.
you feel more comfortable as well.
Yeah.
Do any sport in your own backyard.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that sometimes niggles me a bit every now and then. I mean, like I said, I think in my head I'm probably thinking 21. I can still make 11 stone. But yeah, it's something I just have to just live
It's
with.
been
One thing
great. It's
Before
been great.
we can't finish yet. We need to hear about Jamie Moore fight, the last fight.
Yeah.
We got to hear about this fight. Go on, tell us.
100%. Tell
The
me
first
about it.
fight, I watched the first fight and it was a good fight.
With the first fight with Jerry Moore, to be honest, without going into the, I think having beaten Macklin 16 days, I think it was prior to that, and first time ever making light middle.
Yeah.
I think Jerry Moore did have an opponent. I think he pulled out.
Yeah.
So basically, when I beat Macklin, it was a perfect opportunity. They thought, hold a second, Andrew's just upsetted, beating Macklin. We'll stick him in there with Jamie. This is a perfect fight. But I think it's his first time ever making 11 stone.
Yeah.
But I think I was never ever ready for that fight. But I think having spoken to through my trainers and managers or whatever, if I hadn't taken that fight, there were eliminating processes. So I may have never got a crack at a British title fight for 18 months,
So,
2 years.
Yeah.
And
Take your chance.
so I had to go through eliminating process. Like I says, I could probably lose to a guy that I should lose to,
Yeah.
and lose that opportunity.
Yeah.
It's always a perfect
How
opportunity.
did you feel when you first boxed in? The first one, you had a good fight. It was close.
The first
was
fight,
close.
yeah. You know what? I call him flash knockdown. I must have went down 5, 6, 7 times, I think, in that fight. But no, with the flash knockdown, I was never 100%. If you actually saw the fight, I would never actually hurt.
And the second fight?
Second fight, I think we boxed, 2007, I think it could have been. So about another 4 or 5 years later on. You know what? I got a thumb in the eye. Really strangely enough, in the 11th round, I got
Tell him.
Being southpaw.
Tell him.
Being southpaw, I got a thumb in the eye, and literally, I thought I go down, take the count.
Yeah.
But to be honest, I can't think if it was Smith that was refereeing. And as soon as I hit the canvas, just went down on my knee. He just made it off there, and then I thought, I can't believe it. And we're 11th round.
You've never
At least let me go out on my show because I was never hurt.
You never had luck with your eye. Because I
Definitely
remember you
premature.
boxing, Damon Hague.
Damon Hague, well, so the politics with that one, there were a lot of politics.
I was there.
You know, and I think, again, I just took it on the chin. I've always been an Ingle fighter from day one, and I think Damon came in probably, I don't know, quite late on. I think I'm sure an opponent of his was boxing for WBF eliminator.
BF, WBF it was,
And his opponent pulled out, I think it were, so they thought, they'll stick me in there with him. So I've got no qualms. Yes, he's a stable mate, but he's not like you guys are. He's another Derby lad coming to train in Sheffield.
Yeah.
So we took the fight basically. He didn't like the fact that when I was training, he was training, and I think he didn't want me to train at the same time as him. I'm thinking, well, I'm not changing anything because I've always been here from day one. So if you don't like it, you come at a later time. But it was a strange feeling because again, how it works is that I didn't have the Ingles in my corner. I had Simon and Burgess in my corner. So they went into Damon's corner. So you know what? Again, like I said, I don't fall out with people.
Yeah,
so
but you knew what was going on.
It's about my boxing abilities.
Yeah, but you knew what was going on in the background.
You know what? In the background, I knew what was going on, but you know what? Like I said, I don't fall out with people through silly little things like that. I mean, for me personally, I was beating Damon. I could have had him disqualified for the headbutts, elbows, and everything daft like that. But he threw a lucky shot. You know what I mean? He couldn't believe he won, but anyway, threw a lucky shot and fractured my zygoma. I got caught in the shot. Just felt like something went right. And just thought to myself, something still don't feel right. So I took a knee, and then obviously, you know, so I think Simon was like looking at me thinking, what's up? I guess something don't feel right. And a mate of mine was a doctor. So when the fight got I got my zygoma fractured. So it was like something not right, and we could just see like an indent swelling on the left hand side of my face.
Yeah, you have to get out.
Anyway, no, it's a sixth sense telling you basically something ain't right. I think, and having gone to the hospital, doctor had said, look, if I had carried on, you would have been blinded.
Yeah.
But you know what? You know, and the question is, can I box again? He just turned around and said, listen, I'll take a sledgehammer to break that. So yeah. Managed to continue to box again. So, but again, these are lessons you're learning. You can't change it. You can't change experiences.
Experiences. I mean, looking at it through your eyes, you know, the way you come through, different aspects, different educations, different.
I took my hat off to you guys because I can see that you guys had that focus of where you wanted to be, world champions. You know, I were kind of like on the pecking order of wanting to get there. But you know, you're no different to me. You know, you guys are no different to me. You know, you've got 2 arms and 2 legs. You know what I mean? So if you guys can do it, why can't I?
That's right.
And I think, you know, he always used to agree with me sometimes because we had a kid in our gym called Danny Thorpe, and Danny used to work with me. And you know, and I could have been Superman amount of times I was in that gym. And it used to grieve me that Danny had come in and not been in for like weeks. And I mean, I know Danny used to smoke at work, and he'd not trained for weeks, and he'd come in for the first day, and then, I mean, like I said, when the gym was buzzing, we had that many journeymen in that gym. And Johnny come in and just like said, oh, got a fight for you Saturday, do you want it? I'm thinking, how can you get a fight before me? How's that? You know what I mean? Literally. And Danny said to me at work, Danny, you just need to lose. You get more money if you lose. You know what I mean? I'm like, no, I've got to be proud about myself. So you know,
couldn't do it.
I couldn't do it, but it's really weird because people have always asked me in the past, like, who was your hardest fighter? I thought, you know what, I couldn't really get. If I had to pick one out,
You never had one, did you?
I didn't have one. You know, I used to look at guys and think, yeah, you guys have had some right tear-ups, and I never had that. I went through, you know, these called me the octopus because arms were all over the bloody place, but, you know, I never had those, you know, when you can look back and say, who did you have a toe-to-toe with, 12 rounds. I mean, Macklin was a good fight. You know what I mean? I felt sorry for him at the end of the fight because when literally I came back to changing rooms and they went in with a scratch on me, and like Whitty came back and changing rooms and we were like looking at Macklin's face and like, you look absolutely battered. I mean, the swelling and bruising, it started to come out. You know what I mean? But you know, these are like the stories you can tell. Even when I boxed Gary Walcombe, it was so weird. Everything about the fight, where you know, making the weight, getting down to London quite late, and I used to have treats when I used to go down there.
What treats?
Well, you see, as you all know, your trainers would always stay in a different rooms, hotel room to where you were. So I used to have my jelly babies and chocolate bars and and the weird thing was when I went down to I went to Dom's and he picked the wrong bag up to go down to London. So when I got to London, he picked my football. I used to run a football team, so he picked my football bag up. I think, how can you get a big bag of footballs confused with a gym bag? Anyway, we opened the boot and just all these footballs rolling around the back of the car. So I was missing all my treats.
You meant to do that.
No, no, but the only thing, I got a sponsor called Jabware, and so they sponsored me my kit. I got my kids, Ellie and Grace's name written on my shorts, and I'm a Wolves fan, so I got the Wolves colour on my kit, and we turned up at the venue for the fight, and the ring announced, well, after the officials come in and we'll find out what colour shorts you're wearing, and I'm saying gold and black, you just can't wear that, why? Because Gary Walcomb's wearing it, I guess, but I'm champion, I've got the title to make a difference. So anyway, they go back to his change rooms. They were trying to argue who was going what colour and what order. So they decided to flip the coin anyway. So we flip the coin. Dominic calls and loses. I'm like, why are you calling? You're not even fighting. So anyway, so we lost that. And then we're then scratching around for what kit to wear because I was supposed to take 2 shorts. I took 1. Yeah. And then I had to wear some Europeans. Soiled red shorts. If you ever see that fight, that's why I'm wearing the short. These red shorts with a white line down it. That was already soiled already. Yeah. And as I'm coming out of the ring, in fact the music wouldn't play. I was supposed to be coming out too. Yeah. And then I saw Gary Walcombe in the hallway before he came out with 2 ring car girls. He's come out to hot stuff. So they did him alone and 2 ring car girls with Union Jack flags. And he looked back at me and was thought, shit, look at the size of him, because when I used to put the weight back on,
you used to fill out.
I was back up to about 12 stone 4.
Tall.
Yeah. You know, so he must have looked
genetics.
At me, shit. So I had to come out to his music because mine wouldn't play, and the response is like asking me, where's the kit? I'm like, don't even go there, that sort of thing. Yeah. So I goes in the ring anyway, and I'm messing about with these shorts because obviously they're 2 inches wider than me. And Dominic's like whispering to me, stop messing about with your shorts and just leave them alone. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like, oh shit, honestly. I mean, we're live on Sky. Yeah. But anyway, I ended up stopping him in the 5th round. And you know what, the shorts didn't make a difference to me in that ring. I think Paul David ended up wearing my kit in when he came down.
Humble, honest.
Honestly, the stories you can
honest
tell.
Career.
Yeah,
you mean?
Yeah.
So you enjoyed the career, didn't you?
I enjoyed my career. Everything. Listen, I had 5 losses. I think if I knew myself that little bit more, I wouldn't have had them losses.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Well, like all of us.
Yes.
Like all, we're all going to regret that.
I don't think a loss means you're a decent boxer. I just think you learn from your losses. Yeah, and I never had those amateur experience to understand and know myself. To make those adjustments. Hence why probably I think 90+%.
You think you'd have made a world champion then? European or Commonwealth? How far would you have gone? If you believe in yourself and you did everything right, correct, how far would you go? What can you see you?
I think if I'd have boxed from a younger age, 15.
Your amateur career.
Amateur career, I think definitely world.
World.
And
which world? Would it be yours?
I think I would definitely be a welterweight.
Yeah.
welterweight, yeah.
Yeah,
Because you had the
Strong.
ability, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I
Who
think
was that?
I think me making my 10th, when I made my 10-13, you know what? I could have starred for another week. I could literally, because I think
Vernon
Yeah,
Forrest.
but you
it's a
start,
battle.
it's not
No,
good.
no,
Yeah.
it's not the fact that it's a battle. It's a mental battle.
Paul Williams, Vernon
Making,
Forrest.
making your weight.
Yeah.
And the fight,
No,
those are two things.
Yeah,
but the
true,
first
true.
thing is always making
Yeah.
the weight.
It's making
But
weight.
always
become-
make that weight, but it's psychological.
Yeah.
So when I made 10-13, you think about it. If I actually end up making 10-13 Friday,
You know you can do
you
it.
can still class that as welterweight.
Yeah.
So it is welterweight.
Because all you do is hot bath.
It's a £6 extra that would kill me
Yeah.
to make
Yeah,
it 10-7.
yeah.
That would make a difference.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
making 10-13 in 3-4 weeks was a doddle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But look, like I said before, looking at it through, a different guy's eyes, the different life he lived, the lifestyle, the work he had to contend with, living over the other side of town. Really enjoyed listening to your
Yeah, man.
Story, man.
podcast, Face.
Really, really
Yeah,
enjoyed
you're
it.
welcome,
Yeah.
guys. Welcome.
Respect.
You know.
And
And we
as my
know
friend
we're going to
as
have you
well.
back on for
Yeah.
certain.
Well, yeah, my license back.
Yeah.
Wait.
Can do.
Is there, would you like to call anyone out?
He used to call me. I think somebody used to say like you're like James Darver.
I know. You were taller, you are, good man.
Yeah, you know what?
Style.
I mean, it's weird because I saw Kel a couple of years back, and before he even went back to Dominic's, and it's like questioning me about how did you make welterweight?
Yeah.
Like me, though. And I told him, and I said, look, you know what you got to do? You got to go back to Dominic's because in the day, it's nothing worse than, especially when you got a family, you can't be away from home.
Yeah.
You can't be good to London. You can't be Manchester.
Stability.
You need stability. You need that. It's what you use. It's what you've done since you're 13-year-old.
Yeah.
I know Kel's your boy, but who do you fancy?
Yeah.
Who do you
Sad,
fancy?
isn't it?
I can't tell you because I've not put my odds on the bookies. I don't want the bookies to know where my money's going.
All right, let me put it another way. Who do you want to win?
I'd say it's
You get Fred,
David, that's the easier question.
I think I can't say another man that I've not grown up with.
Yeah.
So
get
sorry,
Fred.
it has to be Carl.
It's an easier
Sorry,
question
sorry,
to answer, isn't it?
What about
No,
you?
you said it right first. That's the first answer.
You're saying Carl?
You said can you?
No, that's
What do you think?
That's
D?
in your heart.
What are you saying, D?
D, it's 50-50 to me.
Yeah,
You
but
know why?
Who's winning?
You know why?
Don't ask me.
I'm edging a bit to Khan, but I won't care about Khan. Because
Yeah,
you know why?
who do you
Is that
think's
I?
gonna win? And why?
You know what?
for me the cycle and the
It's
cycle
hard,
the
it's hard,
cycle
it's hard. I can't say.
the
Yeah.
cycle
Sorry, guys.
and mental
That's me.
What about you,
Be
John?
honest,
What about
be
you, John?
honest.
Come on, John.
Right,
Nothing wrong with an opinion.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Opinion.
No, leave it.
I think 10 years ago, Kel,
Kel, yeah. But
no
now-
questions. This time around, I think it's a 50-50 fight.
Thank
The
you.
way I see it is Kel's got to get that pressure on him early. He's got to hurt him early. He's got to not let Khan get into his groove because it's going to be a long fight if he lets him get into the groove. I think I've just got a sneaky feeling that Kel's going to do it.
How?
I think he's going to catch him early. If
Right.
we know if he catches Khan.
So you're
Can-
saying Kel late, what are you saying?
If Khan.
No, early. I'm saying Kel early. I'm saying Kel
Right,
early.
I said
But within
Kel.
6.
so we got two Kells here.
Yeah.
Right, but listen. If Kel protects the eye, because Khan will be trained to get that eye. That's what he's training for. He's training with Crawford, and he wants to stop him by the eye. Because Crawford.
Learning stupidness.
Nah.
But that'll play into Kel's hands. If
Trust
he tries to
me.
engage,
Kel's
he's
not
gonna
That's the
beat
reason
Kel.
why he's gone. Khan coming in as.
He might have done
Anyway,
that. I think that
He's
Crawford
working on
would be
that.
teaching him to actually box and move.
Yeah, to box him.
If there's any-
That's how he
any
beat him.
smartness to it.
That's what beat. That's how he beat Kel last time, Crawford.
It's easy to say that because
Kel's
the fact-
winning
no,
against
No,
Crawford.
but it's easy to say that what you're saying.
Yeah.
What you're saying because the fact is, if you look at you're only as good as your last performance, and your last performances you got beat by you are
Crawford,
injury.
yeah.
Simple as that by the jab.
Yeah.
So if that's all they're focusing on, they're missing the whole picture. In there.
Yeah, they
You
are.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's a lot more than just. Don't get me wrong. I think it's in the target area,
yeah.
but I just
target.
don't think you should be just focusing on that.
Do you, I when I was watching Kel v Crawford, I thought Kel was up until it got stopped.
Do you think?
I thought he was
Kel's
giving
winning.
Crawford
Kel's
problems.
winning that fight, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was winning the fight.
Yeah.
Now, if we look at when Khan fought Crawford,
He was never winning.
He was never winning the fight.
he's got
That's
the
why I'm
knowledge.
saying it's an intriguing fight because I think Kel can win it if he does the right tactics.
Yeah.
He gets on him.
From
That's
my
the mindset of the
eyes.
day. What if he wants it? Because at the end of the day, this fight's been going on for a long time, and now it's coming. It's like has he got a same mindset as when he was younger. You know what I mean? So to see now.
Yeah, from my eyes, I mean, it's 50-50.
Yeah.
I think Khan's deluded though. He's some of the shit that comes out of his mouth.
He does.
He's saying that Kel's got no chin.
Yeah.
Some
Oh,
of the
come
shit
on.
that comes out of his mouth.
Eh?
I say Kel's going to stop him 8 or 9 rounds, but
Yeah.
it is 50-50.
Yes.
On paper, it's 50-50.
We say Janie.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got Kel inside
So
of it.
what? So what I said.
Diplomatic.
Yeah.
I've gave me betting slips where it went.
Okay.
Betting slips fine.
Well, what you do, take a picture of it and send it to us then when whoever's won.
Intriguing fight, still interesting.
Yeah.
Past the best, both of them.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, I'm giving Kel. I think it's all Kel to be fair. I think my first 2 tricky rounds and then
Yeah.
I think he dominates.
Catch him.
Yeah.
If he catches him, he's going to do
He's
him.
going,
innit?
he's going to go. He's going to stay down.
By the way, if you give me a member short, because Kel don't want D doing his podcast because he voted the wrong guy. Yeah.
Listen.
Available. Yeah.
Listen.
Kel, we all
Just being
support
real.
you.
Kel, we just support all the boys. Just being real. I was looking at different.
When we do Kel, we can ask him to stay at home.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm coming. Yeah.
He's wrapping us up then, boys.
Yeah,
Gonna
okay.
Might
honour
take us
today.
out. You got the song ready, D?
Okay. So, thank you.
Before we end it, would you please do that cool sound that you made before we actually start?
I love a Cadbury's cream egg. Was that one? No, it wasn't that one. It was I love a baby shower.
Yeah, man. Go on,
He
lad.
was the man on the advert, wasn't he? The advert about 1966.
Yeah, man. You ready?
By the way, that voice was my wife's voice.
Yeah, man. Andrew Facey.
Listen, let
Thank
him
you.
play the music because you got to do your little bit
Ew.
where you say you we.
What is it, what?
One second, you get ahead of yourself. You're supposed to say we here and I'm saying that.
We're here.
Let's start again. Give that song to him.
Who?
I'm not editing this, dude.
I've never done that. I've never done that.
No, wait. Just press play.
I've never done it.
Just press play. Just press play.
Like, you can take the face out.
Okay, Facey. Thank you for being on this podcast. Big respect to you. Thank you for your stories. We're here.
And we are.
Don't forget to like, share,
Comment.
And subscribe.
and hit that notification button. We out.
Alright.
Alright.